Welcome, welcome to the Creative Center and Franklin Furnace Presents WUSH Radio Hour. We're going to be taking the next few minutes to just settle in, so if you need a drink or a snack, feel free to grab one. Our formal program will initiate at about 5:05. Thanks for being here and on time. We so appreciate you. Hi, Elizabeth. It's so nice to see you again 2 times in one day. Gilda is here, one of our most favorite artists, an artist living on the historic Bowery downtown in New York. Irene, I don't know you, but I'm so happy you're here. And hi, Lori, it's great to have you. Thank you so much for being here. I know you love puppets, and I think radio theater is something that sort of happens in adjacent presentations and entertainment to puppetry. So really looking forward to having you here. Hi, Alicia, it's so nice to see you, or hear from you. I can't see you yet, but hopefully we'll get to see more friends later on today. Hi, Ed. Ed is a fabulous playwright coming to us from upstate New York. Ed, it is great to have you here. And Constance, I believe I met you before in one of our Creative Center partnership programs, but I'm forgetting exactly what site it was at. So thank you so much for spending the late afternoon into evening with us. It is Friday. I know it's been a long week. The weather has turned. It was a beautiful day, and we really appreciate you spending some time with us here at the Creative Center. Adele, hi, it's so nice to see you too. Thanks for being here. We are at 5:02, so for those just joining us, like Jenny, hey Jenny Holman, so nice to have you here. Feel free to grab a drink or a snack. We will turn our cameras off for the duration of today's performance. So in the true traditional radio style, you just will be hearing our voices and a graphic that's been developed for the program. So get comfortable, get ready. And at the end of our time together, we will have a little bit of a Q&A with the team that's put together today's presentation. And we'll welcome comments from the audience as well. If you'd like to know how the work was developed, a little bit more how casting was decided, we would love to speak to that as a team. For those of you who don't know too much about the Creative Center, I will introduce us formally in just a moment, but it's also a great idea to check out our website, thecreativecenter.org, where you can find all of our upcoming programs and classes, which are always free for anyone living with cancer, chronic illnesses, or their caregivers as well. Our website's in the chat if you'd like to take a look at another time. I know many of you are participants or friends of the Creative Center already. In my follow-up email, I'll also ask if you'd like to be added to our mailing list, which, while it's full of resources for people living with cancer and other chronic illness, it also has many art-making opportunities for the general population of New York City, free events happening in and around downtown where our offices are located, and we would love for you to correspond with us through that newsletter. So please let me know if you'd like to be added to the mailing list. Hi, Tom. Hi, Victoria. Thanks for being here. Great to have you. Feel free to pop comments in the chat throughout. If something really hits you in the funny bone, a line or a piece that we include in tonight's show, we would love for you to put that in the chat because we won't be able to hear your laughter. And I think the performers will respond so well to hearing a little bit in the chat from the audience about what they like. So be present with us tonight, even though we can't see you and hear you. All right, we are at 5:04, so we'll wait just another moment. Also gracing us, we'll meet in just a moment. We have a very special guest, the Ken Dewey director of Franklin Furnace Archive, Harley Spiller, who is also a dear friend of the Creative Center. So thanks, Harley, for being here. We'll hear from him a little bit more in just a moment. All right. Well, welcome, welcome. We have about 20 people joining us. I think there likely will be some latecomers, but I would love to formally introduce myself at this time. Hello, everyone. I've been talking to you already for 5 minutes. I'm Sophia Heineke. I'm the manager of Arts and Wellness, coming to you live from the Creative Center offices in all of their splendor and supply glory here on the Lower East Side at 273 Bowery. The Creative Center is a historic arts and health organization. We've been serving the immediate New York community for over 25 years. And in the last 3 years, we've expanded to serve a global and national community with our free arts programs for anyone living with cancer, chronic illness, and caregivers for those folks as well. In our programs, we try to bring together really different mediums of art, people from all walks of life who have been impacted by chronic illness. And what we come out with is not only really an enrichment of our creative skills and our ability to use different mediums of art to express ourselves, but a really rich community, very interesting relationships where we're able to build into one another's creative work with the shared experience of living with illness and living outside of it. In the chat right now, I have a participant helping me give my spiel. Lori says the Creative Center is sheer joy, a force for delight. We so appreciate that, Lori, and really look forward to having you back in class again. As I mentioned earlier, all of our programs can be found on our website, and they are all free for anyone living with cancer and other chronic illness. We also have a very robust artist in residence program that has resumed since March of 2022, where we have artists who are placed in hospitals to work with folks bedside as they're receiving dialysis, chemotherapy, or other long-term treatments. If you'd like to learn more about that program, you can email me at info@thecreativecenter.org. And I'll pop that email in the chat at the end of the night. In addition, if you would like to donate for tonight's program, I'll send along a link in a follow-up email. Donating is always optional at the Creative Center. Money is very valuable to us. We are a small nonprofit based in New York, but in addition, spreading the word about the work that we do is equally valuable. So if you know someone in need of a pick-me-up who's living with cancer or another chronic illness, please feel free to connect them to us. There's always more space for us to expand our community. We are now at 5:07. I think we'll wait just another moment before I introduce Harley into the room. And Harley will tell us a little bit about the work that happens at the historic Franklin Furnace Collective, something that I've known about since I was in college, when I was taking a fabulous performance art class with a very well-known performance artist based in New York, Karen Finley. And Karen decided to bring in one of her greatest inspirations, a woman named Martha Wilson, who is the founding director or one of the founding members of Franklin Furnace. And Martha's work really runs the gamut of expressive performance, speaking on identity, femininity, and her experiences in America and in Canada, where she grew up. So really excited to hear from Harley about the work at Franklin Furnace happening now and historically. They're involved in many different kinds of art making all over the city. And Franklin Furnace, like the Creative Center, really thinks that artists are the backbone of New York and that they should be compensated for their time, should be honored for their work, and should be seen as upstanding pillars of society, which I know many of our community members feel. Just want to say hello to Jacqueline. Jacqueline, can you hear us? Jacqueline's connecting to audio. That's very good. All right. Well, I think at this time, Harley, I'd love to invite you on camera to speak a little bit more about Franklin Furnace and about the wonderful artist who has championed this program, Naimah Hassan.
Thank you very much, Sophia, for that lovely introduction. And thank you to the actors, the radio actors tonight, and to the audience. You can't have a show without people in the seats. And well, you can, but what fun is that? Franklin Furnace is delighted to formally partner with Creative Center. And Sophia and I first met, I believe, at the 31 Chambers Street at the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs in the historic courthouse there, when we were both at a meeting learning how to get more money for our organizations. And we both succeeded in getting New York City Department of Cultural Affairs grants. So that's a very important notch in our work. Franklin Furnace started in 1976 by the inimitable Martha Wilson. It is her art project. So it's different than any organization you'll ever find before, now, or later. It's her baby. But at age 73, her art is finally taking off. And she had a solo exhibition at Centre Pompidou in Paris just this past fall, and she was invited back for a residency this summer. So Martha is a hot ticket now, a blue chip artist, and she's gone to Emerita, and I'm so fortunate to have been tapped to fill in as executive director of Franklin Furnace. Our education program began in 1985 when an artist named Diane Postion came to Martha and said, the kindergartners I'm teaching in Chinatown hate books. And yet they're little kids. They should be loving books. Why do you think they hate them? And Martha said, because they're in English and these kids don't speak English. And Diane said, exactly. And I have an idea. If they make books about themselves with Polaroid pictures and drawings and fun things from their lives, and if we tell them it's okay to write in Chinese, and they produce autobiographies, maybe they'll like reading more once they understand a book from the very beginning, from making one from scratch. And it worked. And now, 36 years later, we're still teaching in New York City public schools. About 6 years ago, New York City offered CASA, creative after-school adventures, but this was SUCASA for seniors in senior centers. And Franklin Furnace polled the teaching artists on our team, and Naimah was one of 5 of us who said, yes, I would love to work with seniors. And so our education program has been working with elder adults for about 6 years now. And Naimah has been a stalwart of that program. She is fearless, she is talented, and most of all, Naimah just keeps drinking the Kool-Aid. She just loves what she does. She calls me at 9 p.m. She gets an idea. It's not too early at 8 o'clock to run that by me. I love her enthusiasm, and she gives it her all. You'll see her in a second. You can tell from her splendor that she is into it all the way. And I think from having watched a rehearsal of the WUSH radio show that the partners she's worked with on this program love her and her spirit. And I think it's infectious. And that's a good wellness infectious, not any of the harmful things. It's just really cool to be around Naimah because she's a thinker and she wants a better world. And she's getting it. And you are too. I hope you will enjoy the show to come and laugh and get emotional and understand that this is created 100% by the actors. I heard Naimah say something that humans don't expect seniors to be creative anymore. They're on the downhill. They're on the way. She doesn't buy that. She thinks that's junk. And she is creative, and she has pulled some beautiful things out of these young artists that we're privileged to work with today. So that's enough from me. And I turn it back to Sophia, and thank you all very, very much.
Thank you so much, Harley. We are going to get started with our program in just a moment. I will disappear my video and you all will see a graphic come up. Then you'll hear the radio show count in and we will begin. So give us one moment here. And thanks so much for spending your evening with us. Oh, and my last question is, Jacqueline, can you hear us?
Let's proceed.
All righty, everyone, here we go.
Five,
4, 3, 2, 1. You're on the air.
Please
Hey,
step in. I need to get
what
on
are you
this train or I'll be
doing,
late to work.
Please hold the
Please make
door.
room
Please
for
hold
me.
the door.
Step
And
in.
clear up the closing doors, please.
Welcome to WUSH, WUSH, the radio station of the University Settlement House from New York City's fabulous Lower East Side. This is Grandmaster Mary Lou, your host for today. We'll be right back after this commercial.
I want to tell you about the Young at Heart Red Memory Pill that I've been taking for over a year. It was specifically designed to be used with a Young at Heart senior dating app. But strong-willed as I am, I thought I could sign up for the app without taking the pill. Was I wrong? Without the pill, I have filled out the questionnaire, arrived late for dates, and when a gentleman asked me for a second date, I couldn't remember him or the date. But after taking the red memory pill twice a day, I had total clarity, sharp as a tack, the brain of a 30-year-old. Punctuality became my motto. I recalled the date in exact detail. Energy exuded from my body, attracting the most compatible match on my frequency. And I met 80-year-old Henry, who wets my whistle. The Young at Heart Red Memory Pill guarantees to boost energy, concentration, and recall. With heightened alertness, you will breeze through the app and attract and remember that special someone. If not completely satisfied, return this product for a complete refund. But don't stop the pill before sending it back, or you might forget to do it. Side effects: remembering a date or anything else you want to forget, overwhelmed with suitors, leaving little time for chores, nighttime excitement leading to insomnia, racing heart which can result in heart attack or death. Young at Heart Red Memory Pill, covered under your Medicare Advantage plan.
Welcome again, folks. And now, what you've been waiting for, the latest installment of our magical mystery from the Sunnyside Sweet Smelling Senior Center. This week's episode, Who Stole the Applesauce?
Scene opens in the cafeteria of the Sunnyside sweet-smelling Senior Suites.
Director Daniels, I need to speak with you right away. After putting the turkeys in the oven, I opened the cabinet to take out the stash of our prized applesauce. You know, the ones in small plastic containers with red, blue, and yellow sparkles on the label. When I checked the inventory yesterday morning, we had 80. Now there are none.
We had bingo yesterday afternoon. Are you sure applesauce snacks were not giving out then?
Director Daniels, I've been running this kitchen for 10 years. Don't you think I know what the seniors got for snacks yesterday? I served sugar snaps.
You always run a tight ship, but lately we don't have enough kitchen help. You're overworked and underpaid. I wish I could give you more money, but with our budget, maybe they were misplaced. It can happen to anyone, even you.
I'm in tip-top shape with all my marbles. The applesauce was stolen. We have a thief in our midst.
This is a serious allegation. We've always had things go missing. This is a senior center.
We're not talking spoons, forks, condiments, or extra milk. These are applesauce.
I'll have to investigate delicately.
Start with a love triangle. Busty Becky, Sneaky Sally, and Sweet Sam. They're always trying to get an extra serving to impress each other.
On their way to Artsy Evans' table, Director Daniels and cafeteria woman Joan don't notice Sneaky Sally, who rises from her chair, bringing her tote bag with her.
You, beautiful busty Becky, come sit with us.
Busty Becky, pretending not to hear, continues to move towards artsy Evan.
Oh, hi, Evan. Is anyone sitting here?
Artsy Evan looks up startled. Meanwhile, Sneaky Sally saunters over to Artsy Evan's table.
Oh, hi, Sally. I didn't see or hear you.
Sneaky Sally sits.
Hi, Artsy Evan. Don't you look divine?
You better go back to your table, Sally. They're serving applesauce, and you don't want to miss your chance for more of your free favorite food.
Huh? I'm glad they're not serving turkey neck, Becky, in addition to breasts, because you got enough of that for all of us.
Sweet Sam saunters in his signature trench coat.
Sweet Sam, the man has decided to join your table, ladies. Sweet Sam I am.
Sweet Sam scrapes his chair as he brings it across the room.
Ladies, I take no medication, and I have all my teeth. Sweet Sam I am.
Hi, Sweet Sam. Artsy Evan here. I really like your trench coat. You smell extra sweet today.
It's my natural musk. That's why they call me Sweet.
Oh my, no medications, and you have all your own teeth, Sam. I'm so impressed.
Oh, please, you're impressed with any man who has britches and breath.
Director Daniels walks across the floor.
Announcement. Due to a shortage of applesauce, today's menu has changed. Each diner will receive turkey and a side of lima bean compote.
Oh, no.
Oh, that's
Oh.
wants that lima bean.
No.
Oh.
Food
no.
is served.
Joan, check out Sneaky Sally with the big bag. She looks extra sneaky.
Does anyone else need a tissue? I just refilled my stash at McDonald's napkins.
Joan approaches the table of flirty seniors. Sweet Sam stands, then Busty Becky stands and leans closer to him.
This trench coat doesn't show off your marvelous build. How about taking it off?
My body temperature tends to drop when I eat.
He's always wearing it, even in the summer.
Wow, can I feel? You look super strong and soft.
No, no, no one touches my trench coat. Sweet Sam I am. But you can touch my smooth complexion.
Oh, I don't mind if I do.
Me too. Oh.
Busty Becky and Sneaky Sally both reach for Sweet Sam, but Sneaky Sally recoils.
Oh, Sweet Sam, there's been an accident.
What's that? Something, ooh, something is dripping down your leg.
Oh, he's just excited to see us.
That's not it.
Joan leans into Sweet Sam and smells him.
Aha, it's the applesauce thief. I'm happy to announce we have apprehended the applesauce abductor.
It's not for me, I swear. It's for the stray cats.
Sweet Sam, would you like a McDonald's napkin?
Director Daniels, come quick.
Director Daniels rushes to the table.
To ensure this doesn't happen again, we'll have to assign you a peer support system.
Oh, I volunteer.
I volunteer.
2 peer support monitors is better than 1, especially in a case this severe.
I prefer Artsy Evan. He is the man for the job.
Me? I don't know how to help. I guess just get rid of the trench coat, maybe.
Oh, Evan, you are so smart.
What a hero saving the applesauce.
That's a great idea. Henceforth, all trench coats are banned from the dining hall to prevent further applesauce theft.
To be continued next time on our magical mystery story from the Sunnyside Sweet Smelling Senior Center. Stay tuned. We'll be right back after another message from our sponsor.
Hi, hello, it's your TV buddy here. I am the TV remote created just for seniors or the low vision or the hearing impaired. Friends make things easy for friends, and that's why I am here for you. No more searching for your remote control. Oh no, I can be clipped onto your clothes so that you never ever have to look for me again. Still misplace me? Don't worry. Just call me and I will be there for you. I'll be there for you. TV buddy, where are you? Oh, I'm over here. I keep calling to you until you find me at maximum volume, featuring only 2 large buttons on and off and voice program. Just lay me down in front of your TV and TV buddy will make sure that you never ever miss Family Feud because the price is right, and yes, let's make a deal. Order your TV buddy today and you will never be in jeopardy of missing your favorite shows. Rush order today for your one-time payment of $25. That's right. Or take on 3 easy payments of $29.99 by sending your bank card, credit card, money order to JRB Productions today. TV buddy makes friends' lives easy.
And now back to the world of the Sunnyside Sweet Smelling Senior Center for some insight into the life of Director Daniels with any news from home?
JFK Airport arrives. Mary Lou, the marvelous mansion minder and part-time house sitter, has driven to the airport to meet her client, Director Daniels of Sunnyside Sweet Smelling Senior Citizen.
Hey, Director Daniels, yoo-hoo! Over here, yoo-hoo! Welcome home.
Oh, hello, Mary Lou, marvelous mansion minder. I'm so glad you were able to meet me here. It's great to see you. Any news from home?
Oh, well, you know, I'm so sorry to tell you, but your dog died. It seems like she got into the horse's corral at the mansion and she ate some burned horse meat.
Burned horse meat? Gross. How did burned horse meat get into the corral?
Well, it seems that the horses got out of the barn when it caught on fire, and the barn fire caused your favorite horse's tail to catch on fire. Oh, it was awful. I cried. It scared the poor horse so much, she kicked out the side of the barn and she started running, but that just made it worse, and the poor horse died right there in the corral.
My prized Kentucky purebred died, are you sure?
Oh yes, all 5 of your Kentucky horses died after the barn fire. It was terrible.
Oh, golly. First my dog died, then my horses died. That's the worst news I've ever heard. How did the barn catch on fire?
Well, it seems like sparks from the mansion blew into the barn and the hay caught on fire. Boy, it sure went up fast.
The mansion was causing sparks? Don't tell me it burned too. I can't take any more bad news. But at least it was insured. You mailed my insurance premium in, I hope, like I asked you to before I left, correct?
Oh, no, I'm afraid I couldn't mail it. It got burned up when the mansion caught on fire.
Oh, I can't believe this. You didn't mail the insurance premium? So I don't have fire insurance. My mansion burned down. My barn burned down. All of my prize horses died and my favorite dog even died. How, pray tell, did the manor house catch on fire?
Well, it seems that the curtains caught on fire when the cat knocked over the candles that were on the coffin. Once the curtains caught on fire, boy, all that old dried up wood that's in that antique mansion went up mighty fast too. That's what started the barn fire, you know.
Yes, yes, I know that. This is incredible. It's unbelievable. I don't have fire insurance. My mansion burned down. My barn burned down. All of my prize horses died a terrible death, and my favorite dog even died. I'm afraid to ask who was in the coffin.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. Your mother-in-law died. Oh, please accept my sympathy.
No, that's not possible. I don't have fire insurance. My mansion burned down. My barn burned down. All of my prize horses died, and my favorite dog even died. And now you tell me that my mother-in-law died too? What caused her death?
Oh, golly, please accept my condolences. She suffered a heart attack.
This is incredible. What gave her the heart attack?
Oh, I'm so sorry to have to tell you this. Do you remember your handsome young pool boy? Well, it seems that he ran off with your wife. And by the way, I'm mighty glad I remembered to tell you this. Your banker also left a voice message saying that your auto payments are bouncing. So I'll bet it's because she withdrew all the money from your joint accounts too.
No, it's not possible. I'm broke. I don't have fire insurance. My mansion burned down. My barn burned down. All of my prize horses died. My favorite dog died. My mother-in-law died. And now the coup de grace is that my wife ran off with the pool boy.
Oh, look, the lights are on at Motel 6. Shall I drop you off there?
There are 8 million stories in New York City, and this has been one of them.
That concludes our broadcast for tonight from WUSH, the radio station of the University Settlement House from New York City's fabulous Lower East Side. That's all, folks.
And WUSH Radio Hour is produced by the Creative Center at University Settlement in partnership with Franklin Furnace. Directed tonight's program by Naimah Hassan. And starring Nandan as Sweet Sam the Man. Nandan, we can't see you quite yet, but we're gonna add your spotlight in. Hey, there he is. Looking pretty cool, if I do say so myself.
Thank you, Sam I am.
We have Jacqueline Bullock, the writer of the TV Buddy commercial and contributor for the Sneaky Sally parts on the first skit that we heard tonight. Let's give a big round of applause, a silent applause for Jacqueline Bullock.
I'm here, if you can hear me.
Oh, we can. Thank you so much, Jacqueline.
All right, thank you.
Then we have Sophia Heineke as Artsy Evan and presenting sound effects. And next up, we have Deb Spiziati. Thanks so much, Deb, as Director Daniels. And finally, Brenda Wilbert. As Joan the Cafeteria Woman and presenting the Young at Heart Red Memory Pill commercial. Thanks so much, Brenda. What a beautiful cast. What a beautiful show. All right, everyone.
Forgot Lou.
You forgot
Oh, and then we have Mary Lou Bernard as Grandmaster Lou, Busty Becky, and Mary Lou, the marvelous manner minder. Let's see, Mary Lou, looking fabulous as usual. Hey, oh. All right, everyone. Performers, let's turn our cameras on, and then we'll spotlight Deb. Deb, hello.
Hello.
You have some questions for us before we ask for the audience to put questions in the chat so we can hear a little bit from them about what they're curious about in our process together.
Great. I thought maybe we'd start off with what brought any of us to the Creative Center. Anyone pitch in?
Well, I'll go first. I saw Naimah's name as the teacher, so I thought anything she teaches, I want to learn.
Good choice.
Amazing.
I didn't know what we were going to do, but I thought it'll be good and it'll be fun with her.
Yeah.
Miss Brenda. Brenda, how about you?
Oh, well, I love the idea about radio theater. I just love that. And also, last year, my husband, before he passed, we started taking some classes at the Creative Center. And it was such a wonderful place for us to kind of, you know, share our creativity with each other. And it's so, and also to help cope with illness. So, and to keep the creativity flowing. So that's why I came.
I'm glad we got to meet Charles, by the way.
Me too. You know, his spirit is with us today.
It is. Thank you.
Jacqueline,
Don,
non-Don.
how about you? What brought you to the Creative Center?
Who, me?
Yeah, you, Sweet Sam.
I miss radio shows a lot because I grew up with the only radio show. Before I came to the country, came to US, I didn't see any TV. So only thing we had was radio show. And when I saw this program at TCC, I said, let me give it a try. And the names were very important. The teacher was excellent, I knew. And this Creative Center, all the people who are involved with it are so caring, so giving. I am so thankful. I'm eternally grateful. And this is a place for healing through creativity. I have been here only 3 months, and this year has been unbelievable so far, and I feel healed. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh, well done, Sweet Sam, really.
See, he's a sweet Sam.
Yeah, really. Who's next? Naimah,
Yes.
how'd you find out about the Creative Center?
I was taking some workshops and I really loved what they were doing. And I had spoken to Harley before, and I met Robin, and I just shared how I wanted to combine inspiring people, regardless of what their age is, and that as long as you have a mind, you can create, and as long as you can create, you can inspire. So I just took it from there.
Terrific, and we are very lucky for that. Who's left here? Okay, let me mention how I found out about the Creative Center. It brings me back to a radio show that I've been listening to for 22 years. And they have a motto which goes, not every conversation can change your life, but every once in a while one does. Well, I was talking to a friend and she just offhandedly mentioned the Creative Center to me. I just moved to the area, and within 2 days, I showed up to sign up for whatever I possibly could. So it brought me right back to radio.
Nice.
I just have to chime in and say something I really love about all of these performers that you've seen tonight is they're very interdisciplinary artists, and some of them did not arrive at the Creative Center that way, but they were able to take the risks to sort of discover all of the different mediums of art that help express themselves holistically. And I think in radio theater, we really discovered that we are our own multi-tools to express ourselves. The body and voice encompass so many different modes of expression, and I was really excited to see all of the performers take that on.
Great. One other question I'd like to ask, and put your thinking caps on. What are your earliest recollections of radio?
It's a good one.
Oh,
I have one. All
Okay.
right. Growing up in Boston, big Red Sox fans. And so my whole family would be sitting there listening to the Red Sox, all the games. And we would just have a special food when Red Sox was on and wear our Red Sox caps. And we just love listening to them. So that's my earliest memory.
Oh, that's great. That's a sweet one. Who else wants to be next? Naimah, how about you?
Well, I was actually thinking about it, and for me, it was cultural in that I heard a lot of different types of music, and particularly getting up in the morning. I loved radio. I loved the voices. I loved feeling like I was part of a community of people that were just going on with their day. And it wasn't that I needed to see the person. And what I loved was you couldn't see them, but you could create your own imagination, your own stories. You know, my father liked to listen to the sports. I liked to do the music, and my mother liked to do the gospel stuff. But through all of those shows, it's like you were entering into these worlds that you didn't have to leave your house. And I loved that. And I love the physical radio itself.
That's come a long way now. Sophia,
Yeah.
how about you?
Well, I was raised in an environment where car talk on NPR was very prevalent. And I think that dates me a little bit. But I
They
also
still
will
play
say,
reruns.
I love car talk still to this day. I think there's so much sort of spunk to it, and the personalities of the characters are like really arrive very fully in just dialogue, which is one of my favorite things to write. I think also too, my grandmother is actually from Belarus, and I remember being at her house and listening to, she had CDs of like old Russian radio recordings, particularly like movie scores from Russia and from like Western films in the United States. So there would just be these like long blocks of recorded radio that she would play. But yeah, I've always, I love to make a good playlist. I think the radio is my first introduction to that. So always thinking about how to create these kind of blocks of programming.
Wow.
I remember getting a transistor radio, and I guess radio had always been around, but I didn't notice or pay much attention to it. But when I had my own, and you could turn it on, and it was just in your hand, and the world opened up. That was extremely cool. Like the way our 13-year-old wears his Oculus device now across his whole head that makes everything 3D comic book or something. I'm old enough to have enjoyed the radio itself as like an amazing technology. And here we are on Zoom.
On our own
Right.
radio show.
What the earliest memory I have is from, think about this, moon landing. You won't believe how real it was for me. I was growing up, I was a little kid sitting next to everybody's putting their ears closer, and we are waiting, and it's amazing.
Wow, the
So,
moon landing, that's
I
incredible.
missed the radio so much. We used to have a GEC radio with huge, and in the beginning, the first one that we had used to take car battery to run. Think about it, with the big bulbs and stuff.
Oh, man.
Then we had a transistor radio afterwards.
Yeah.
So those are such sweet memories, and this working with this project really took me back to those days.
Yeah,
Thank
really.
you.
We
My
have
mom used to listen to talk radio. She used to listen to a guy called Dr. Meltzer, and he had like thousands of listeners, but he was not a doctor. He was not qualified in any way, but was he popular? That's my earliest memory. Talk radio, Dr.
No,
Meltzer.
it's so interesting, Deb, because my mother used to listen to some kind of talk show person too.
Mhm.
And she used to listen and always in the morning, like maybe like she'd get up at 5 a.m. and she'd be listening to the radio. And it's so interesting because that's what I do now. When minute I wake up, I mean, I'd be thinking about things and I lie there, but then I put the radio on.
Mhm. See, yeah,
Yeah,
we all turn into our mothers.
I guess that's what happens,
It's
really.
just lucky.
I don't know if there's anything wrong with that, but I will say we have 4 really good questions from the audience. And Deb, I'm wondering, would you like for me to read them out loud and then
Yes,
the
please,
group
go
can
ahead, sure.
answer? So
Mhm.
great. Our first question is coming to us from Heather Woodbury, who is a very talented director and performer herself. The question is, how did Naimah solicit your skits and ideas? Does anyone want to talk about like when did we start kind of popcorning the ideas out?
It was the first class where we were just brainstorming as to, what are we going to do? We're going to have a mystery, we're going to have comedy. And we just kept building on each other. And I remember that I laughed so much during that class. It was the most therapeutic laugh fest that we
Yeah.
just all built on each other's ideas.
Yeah,
And
the synergy was phenomenal
yes,
in
exactly.
that class, for sure.
And Sophia, I think you wrote down the main ideas because we lost them because we were just here, there, and everywhere.
I love to be a note taker. It is one of my favorite things to do.
Sophia wore several hats, trust me.
I think the thing for me going in on this project was I wanted them to create a body of work that represented who they were. So I kept saying, who is the audience you're speaking to? What is the message that you want to say? And we took it from there. I gave them the template of what's in a radio show, and then they just owned it, and it became the show that they wanted to talk about and the things that they wanted to deal with. And that's what I think, when you do that, people feel invested. And when you feel invested in something, you're interested. And when you're interested in something, you share. And when you share, it just creates this wonderful, wonderful moment of we laughed, we cried, and it was a great experience, I think.
I'm really curious to hear from the group. Do you all feel that in some ways you as people are manifested in this sort of choices made and the content selected? Does anyone want to speak on that very quickly?
We created it.
Right.
It was a synergism, as Deb already said. We just kept coming up with ideas and building on each other's ideas, and we got to an amusing, entertaining end piece.
And we gave each other room to be creative, so. And then it wrote itself.
Absolutely.
It was a really easeful writing process. And I will say Harley had a question that was basically about how many hours did we spend kind of in community and separately to create this piece. I think we spent about 16 hours together in class time. And then for those who wrote But for those who are writing commercials, like Jacqueline, I would love to hear from you. How long did it take you to write the TV Buddy commercial? And where did
Okay,
that come from?
can you hear me? I'm on the line.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi, everyone. Of course, typical of me, I got the time wrong, but I'm glad everything went forward. The TV Buddy came out of the discussion that we had being seniors, and I told the story about my mother having the Band-Aids over the remotes to block off the buttons that she didn't need. We did laugh a lot, and so it came out of that concept of trying to find a TV remote that, as a senior or people with low vision, you don't need these 200 buttons on a remote. So
Right.
that was the concept. And then I talked with my son, who gave me a lot of great ideas because he writes poetry. I don't know if he tuned in today or not and missed his mom. But anyway, I talked with my son and to get the concept of how would I describe the remote. But he was the one who gave me the idea, let the remote speak for itself. Let the remote speak to the people who need it. So after that, I was able to write it. And then Naimah gave a suggestion too about adding the shows. You know, before it was just straight about the remote talking, but then at the end, Naimah mentioned, why don't you add some TV shows? So that's why I put that part in there. But you'll never forget, you know, to tune in for Price is Right and Jeopardy. And most of the shows that I mentioned in the commercial were shows that were some of my mother's favorite shows. So that's where I got the idea to mention the shows that she always looked at.
Pulling it
So
right
anyway, it
from
was
life.
fun. The whole thing was fun.
We love that.
I think we bonded as a group.
Thanks,
We
Jacqueline.
laughed a lot, and that was good too. I agree, it was therapeutic.
And Jackie, it was your line that we used that Sweet Sam had all his and doesn't take medication.
Oh yeah, that was another story. Yeah.
That was a great line.
But that was taken from an actual event that I shared with the group that I attended with my mother, and a man was trying to meet her, and of course she wasn't interested. But his opening line was that he takes no medication and he has all of his teeth.
Right from life, right from life.
Yeah, right.
So we developed that line from you know, to deal with Sweet Sam.
I think that so much richness too was brought in Naimah identifying these really kind of concise but true things about the structure of commercials, and us all being like, oh yeah, commercials are really weird like that, or really sneaky. And then just the wheels started spinning and the commercials wrote themselves. Brenda also wrote pretty much the entirety of the Young at Heart Red Memory commercial.
I love Brenda's commercial. I thought that was so fabulous.
You know, well, it's so interesting because I said it was my first. I told my friends it's my first commercial because I write plays. I write other kinds of things, but I never did anything like that. And Naimah gave kind of the structure about a commercial and how, you know, and so it gave me a sense about that. But you know, it's very interesting because we all talked about something about the senior dating app and that memory pills.
Yeah, it was great.
We all talked about that. And then but you know I always kind of feel about my own writing. I feel like my spirit kind of channels through me. You know what I mean? That's how I end up writing some of these things. It just came through me. I just had all these different ideas and it just kind of flowed, and that's how it happened, really.
Falls off your pen, right?
It really doesn't. And like, even when I do art, it's like I don't really have an idea of what I'm going to do. It's kind of the colors, kind of what colors I feel. And then when I finish the piece, I wonder, how did I even do this? So it's that same kind of thing, but I was excited to write my first commercial. It was exciting. And so
I thought it was very humorous. I loved it, you know, the warning about if you don't, you'll forget if you don't take the pills. And it was great.
Don't forget the date. Yeah.
That's right.
In the chat, Heather just put, yep, channeling is where it's at. It's all showing up that counts. And I will say, I felt the characters were really well embodied, particularly in the first skit, but throughout, and the audience was just chatting away at that point. People were really responding to the humor. And And yeah, I think there's a lot of sort of truth that the humor comes from. And I really felt also that this group, it was sort of like a match made in heaven. Everyone felt like we could kind of be vulnerable in the space. And I think that that's a big part of what we try to cultivate at the Creative Center too. Like, we just need to be able to speak what's on our minds. Irene in the chat says the first piece captured the way older single women act around older single men. And I think that that's
Yeah.
very correct.
Yeah.
Elizabeth?
I like that, what Irene said, because that was one of the things we looked at when I said, you know, you as an artist, you should, even if you don't know what it's going to look like, talk about your life experience and what is it for us. I call them wisdom women, dating, you know, just that experience, and how do you put it out there so you with humor, so that it allows people to reduce their fear. Because if you know that, okay, I'm not the only one that's worried about certain things. I'm, you know, I got to be in bed by 10, otherwise I'm going to fall asleep on you. I don't care where the date is. Just, you know, it's just certain things. I think for me, being authentic is really important. And within that, you can use your imagination. You know, what if you're going to be a remote control, then be 100% a remote control, then be about that life, what the remote control is about. And I think that we just showed you can have talented people around and give them the space. Everybody had the space to bring their own ideas. That's what was important to me, that everyone had the space to be empowered.
But you know what's so interesting, like Naimah, what you did was you started us off every time with like a meditation or a guided imagery, and you centered us. You know what I mean? That made us feel, and that we're like more than just our bodies. That's how I felt. You know what I mean? That more than just our whatever our illnesses or whatever it is, that's
Right.
what we are. And I felt that kind of, I don't know, it just really grounded us, or grounded me. I felt that way.
Yeah, I felt that way too. And that was another reason I kept coming I missed one day, I think, and that was a hard day for me that I missed because being with this talented group of people and Sophia running the show, Naimah was a great, I consider her now like a guru for me. This is my first acting role since first grade.
That's a long
So,
But see, to me, that's a piece of work. That's a beautiful monologue. That's a beautiful monologue.
I think right there, what he just said is a title.
Yes.
That's the title, that you have another radio half-hour show in that title.
yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you
I'd
so
like
much.
to also add that the meditation was very helpful. I remember one question Naimah asked was, my mind is somewhere and my heart is somewhere else, or something to that effect. And that was very insightful to me, because I never thought about, like, your mind can be one place and your heart can be another place. So anyway, I thought the meditations were very helpful. And but I'd like to hear questions from the people who are, if they're still there.
Well, yeah, our wonderful audience, there are still 22 people listening in here, I think, gleaning some wisdom from us all. And we've answered pretty much all the questions. Elizabeth's question, I feel that we've sort of answered, which was, can we talk about the writing process? Was it individual or collaborative? And I feel like we've touched on that. Mary Lou, what's on your mind? Yeah.
I was just reading through the questions, and somebody wants the name of Sweet Sam because he has all his teeth and takes no medication.
I'm telling you, that chat was spicy. It was a good chat the whole time. I also will say, so what's next for the group is the next question. And then Lori is asking, is this evening's WUSH event a culmination? And yes, Naimah has been in community with us for basically 2 months, all of March and most of April, for 2 hours a week. And then these writers, everyone contributed to the writing process, and there was homework every week. So people were thinking about embodying their characters, doing some writing, helping with copy editing, helping to just make sure that, me as kind of the ad hoc stage manager was getting everything done. And I really do feel always that the Creative Center works best when we're all holding each other accountable to get things done. And that is absolutely what happened with this
Yeah,
project.
without a doubt, yes.
What's next for the group? I know Naimah has a show coming up. I don't know if we want to mention that, but I think we should. And then Heather asked how many weeks it was. It was 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks. Yeah. And then we're going to have sort of a debrief next week, which will be a short meeting. But Naimah, do you want to share with us some details about where we can catch your next work? Anybody else got anything coming up?
Well, my husband and I are a comedy team. And just to give you a little background, when we started performing, we performed separately. And when we got married, we decided we would write our own vows. So we threw our own wedding because we believe if you throw your own wedding, you can invite who you want to, you don't go into debt. So we had a lesbian rebirther who married us in the village. And I wrote this beautiful, beautiful thing. And all he said was, I love you and I want to marry you. Well, initially that pissed me off because I thought he would have said something much more powerful. But what somebody said, you two should perform together. And we sat down one day and we brainstormed, what's important to us in my life? And it's my spirituality, and we're both practicing Buddhist, cultural, being African-American, and my sensuality. And so our work is based around that. And we're an interracial couple. And what makes people more uncomfortable in anything, a lot of times, is interracial people, because they want you to choose. And you don't dislike yourself because you're with someone. So we use comedy to deal with a lot of, our show is everything's on the table. And so we try to use where our lives are at. So right now, we're looking at being a middle-aged couple coming out of COVID. And what was that like? So the name of our show is What You Can and Cannot Say Doing Interracial Sex. And it's really a very pro-feminist piece. And it's really an empowering piece for relationships, particularly for couples who are, who have been together. Nobody tells you how to love. Nobody tells you how to forgive. Nobody tells you how to tell your partner, I'm tired. Nobody tells you how to tell your partner you're scared. And I think that we expect, no one is responsible for your happiness but you. And that's what we really try to show in this show. We're both two different types of performers. I'm more character-based. He's more stand-up. He's a commentator. And so, in fact, he's doing tours now of Greenwich Village, which he absolutely loves.
What's his name, Naimah?
His name is Steve Epstein.
And we are a little after 6, so we're gonna wrap up here. I just want to say hello to Wanda, who just jumped on the chat to say hello, friends and pen pal. Great radio performance. Love the name of the Sunnyside Sweet Smelling Senior Suites. And is that named after Sweet Sam I Am? Like he's running the place.
I would like Mary Lou to just quickly say something that she said was so deep. I actually spoke to Steve about it. You said something about in marketing, you name if something
You
Can
pick
do
the
that?
worst feature, like an Audi will talk about their great traction and snow. So I knew this woman in advertising. So what is it that you find repellent about senior center is they don't smell good. So that's, and then I just alliterated Sunnyside Sweets. Sunnyside came like the second week, but it was the sweet smelling senior center. And then I had the Sunnyside fit in there nicely. Yeah, I'm big on alliteration in case you didn't notice.
And it worked so well for
I
Radio
love
Theater
that, though.
particularly.
I
Yeah,
love
it-
that.
Loved it.
I love
We are capturing art history tonight. This recording will be available. This is exciting.
Hey,
Thank you, Mary Lou, for that inside story.
You're welcome.
And Sweet Sam, oh, Sweet Sam, I think you might have stolen the show. You definitely get the best male actor award. There's
Yeah, yeah.
everybody.
He got it.
right,
Everyone's a
Well,
winner, as Hot Chocolate would say.
yeah.
Well, I just want to say also, I love that he was here because a lot of times you don't see males in these settings, and men need healing just like women. We
Yeah.
all need healing.
Yes.
You know, we all need support. And so for me, it was just wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I feel the same way. I go to all the support groups and I'm the only person sitting around. They call me Nandan the man. So the character kind of resonated with me. Yes.
A singular dude. Well, friends,
Singular dude.
I think we'll end it here. I just dropped my email in the chat. For those who are interested and based in New York, Naimah and Steve, their comedy duo will be performing at the Alchemical Theater Lab, which is on 14th Street. I put the info in the chat for that, and that's going to be happening May 7th and May 14th. It's 2 Saturdays, so hopefully everyone can come out and check that out if you'd like. And if anyone has additional questions about the Creative Center, please feel free to email me. My info is in the chat, and my email is info@thecreativecenter.org. And we would love to hear from you, feedback about the show. I'll be sending out a follow-up email probably on Monday morning, so you can be in touch with us if you forget the email. And we wish you all the best and most beautiful weekend from the team here at WUSH Radio. It has been a blast and a blessing. Thanks so much to our great partners at Franklin Furnace. We hope that it is not the last time we collaborate with them. And please check out the great work that Franklin Furnace does. Again, it is a historic art making institution, all artists all the time. And we are so honored to be part of the work that they've continued to do. So,
And I'm honored to have been a part of both of you and Harley. Thank you for supporting my vision.
thank you
Thank
so
you
much,
for
Naimah,
doing
for
this with us,
proposing this.
Naimah.
Thank you, everybody.
Bye,
Tremendous.
everybody.
Fun working
Thank
with
you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, be well. Good
Bye-bye.
night.
Bye. Good night, Jacqueline. Bye, Naimah. Bye, Nandan. Bye,
Bye.
Mary Lou.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye-bye,
Harley.
guys.
Bye,